Hello and welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast, our very first episode of 2023. Sorry for the late start. We had a minor miscommunication, and I was stuck at work. So there's that. Yeah, man. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna just kind of recap some of the biggest news that happened in 2023. We're gonna give our take or 2022. Sorry, we're gonna go ahead and talk about some things that we hope we see in 2023, and we're move on with our year here at the old One Fall WrestleCast. Yeah, so let's get after it. So glad to have you, Tom. I missed you, buddy.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude?
Nothing. I miss doing this, so I was like, I don't know, gone in like some sort of a like deep depression on Mondays, just like
Yeah. It's been a wild couple of weeks. So full disclosure, last week, my wife made plans for me, and it was also Derek's birthday, and then we were going to do the show on Tuesday. And then I had some serious major league problems at work that required my undevoted time and attention. And everybody else's week from there on out was very family oriented. So we had no time. So yeah, no time. So
burned the building down and then couldn't do the show.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what happened, but not really. But hey, Tom, dude, I gotta know, how was the movie, bro? Like, I need a Tom.
It was good.
I need a Tom play-by-play.
It was so. I've never seen any of the other specific Puss in Boots movies, but I've certainly seen Shrek. And so, you know, it starts with Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots, and you know he does his thing, and they go and has a little adventure about a last wish, and it was all very good, like from start to finish. Like as far as films are concerned, it was like, you know, it was good. It was like on that par with like Shrek. It maybe wasn't as funny as Shrek, but it was still pretty funny.
I mean, not much is, bud. Like,
right? Yeah. I mean, but it's like that level of humor, and it's you know not afraid to be. I don't want to say adult because it's not. But like, it's certainly subscribed to like, well, the parents are gonna think the beeps are funny, whereas like somebody's supposedly swearing. There's like fake beeps, like he's not like there's just like beeps like they're Ozzy Osbourne or something sometimes, and so it was pretty funny. A lot. So those gags were funny, and John Mulaney is he voiced the primary antagonist. So John Mulaney's funny. He was funny through the whole thing. I don't know. Yeah, just funny. Good movie. Take the kids. They'll enjoy it. It was only like 90 minutes. It was pretty short too.
That's a sweet spot,
you know,
man. That's
right where just long enough that you can get them to like Evie squirms a lot still but it was fine. Like she squirmed, but she still left. She was like, that was one of my favorite movies I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, okay, all right. So we're good.
Bro,
I can't believe he just put his headphones on the outside of the hood.
Is that like a Snuggie, bro?
He's muted. He can't tell.
He's muted. He's so dumb.
No, I'm muted.
You're not now.
You're not,
I unmuted you.
Stop it.
Just stop playing with
Stop.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. And we're also live because you went and brewed yourself a pot of coffee.
Yeah, it's good.
Probably smoked a half a pack of cigarettes.
9:00 at night.
Dude,
Do you have to work tomorrow? I do.
I do. I was tired, man. I fell asleep on the couch.
And 7:30.
This thing's comfy, man. It's like the new evolution of a Snuggie. It's like a hoodie, an oversized hoodie with this giant kangaroo pocket. You can also get side pockets, but I
feel like I've been wearing big hoodies for 30 years. Like, what?
Yeah.
How is that new?
This one has fleece inside, and it's comfy.
She brought me.
Ouch.
Oh
Okay,
my God! Did you just get a cup of coffee?
I got a tea. It's tea.
Oh, okay. That's. I was about to say, bro. Wow, that's terrible timing.
Jesus, we were making fun of him, and you got coffee instead. What is wrong with you?
Hey, so I really just want to take a few minutes today, man. Let's just kind of recap what was 2022. Kind of give me the rundown of what you thought about 2022, Tom.
As far as wrestling's concerned,
Absolutely, all in ring.
So I feel like the in-ring was really good. I feel like at the beginning of this year, we were complaining about how bad the products were at the end of the last year. And then the beginning of the year was pretty terrible, too. I remember the Rumble being particularly disappointing last year. WrestleMania was pretty good, but, I mean, it's WrestleMania. It's always pretty good, at least. And then it seemed like over the summer, like, for from SummerSlam, even before Vince McMahon was gone, like WWE like had a fire lit under him to like have good shows and like put out a good product, and they just did, and it was just one after the other it was banger after banger after banger. Some particular cool ones, particularly right after Vince McMahon left. If you'll remember, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns was like the first big Triple H like main event. That was SummerSlam, was it not?
Yes.
And I feel like that it hit a really high point there when Brock lifted the ring, and I mean that whole match is like, there are like tons and tons of like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? Oh my God, can you believe that happened? But then, like, after that, WWE just, like, kind of picked up the ball and ran with it and just became, like, this juggernaut of, like, good content just day after day, week after week after week after week.
And I think under Triple H's regime, they've learned to utilize their social media much more effectively as well.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just been, NXT, I don't think is back to the height that it once was, and maybe that was always going to be the fate of NXT, because I think it's been the fate of NXT before. AEW, I feel like AEW started out on a high point and then like got in its own way, like with backstage drama and stuff, and just never quite recovered. Like, they're starting to plant the seeds of recovery now, but I think they went down. God, I mean, it wasn't great. I'd say the first time CM Punk got hurt right after he won the title the first time. I guess he beat John Moxley the first time, so he only ever fought John Moxley. And right after Punk got hurt, and then they had to interim title somebody, and then Punk came back. There was all that, like all of that. Just it stunk because there was like an interim champ, and then same thing happened to Tony Storm with Thunder Rosa, interim champ stuff. It just was, booking became a mess. They had backstage drama. So I think between the injuries and the all the backstage shenanigans with AEW, this was not their best year. They're starting to plant the seeds of like recovery, like I said, but I don't think those have blossomed yet, or even started to grow. So there's that. But I think certainly WWE seems to be on a strong point. They're having a strong show right now on Monday Night Raw, and I expect them to continue to have strong show. I'm very excited for the Royal Rumble because for the first time in probably a couple years, I have no idea who is going to win.
Absolutely. I think that's the best fucking part about it, right? It's like it's going to be dope, but we can get into that in a minute. Derek, what you think about 2022, pal, as a whole?
Man, we saw a lot of big changes, like Tom was going over. Been a lot of huge changes in the wrestling business. Biggest being, turnover with Vince McMahon and everything. And I gotta agree with Tom, man. Like, it got better after he kind of excused himself and let Triple H kind of take over the booking process and whatnot, which at the beginning we weren't really sure how that was going to go, if he was actually going to get control. But it was good to see that. I think it's pretty obvious Triple H put a stamp on it. So it's a great year for WWE. I think they've done some great things. But man, 2022 for AEW was a bit of a stumbling block.
Well,
It's
if you
not
remember, as far as Triple H is concerned, not to interrupt you too, at this point in the year prior, or last year, he had just had a major, heart issue.
Yeah.
And
he said on that Ariel Helwani interview that he almost died.
Yeah, and he was out. He was home and he was recovering, and he was not a part of anything. So to see that level of turnaround, I think is pretty impressive. But sorry, go on. AEW,
no.
My bad.
Yeah, just they've not had the greatest of years, let's say. It definitely could have went a lot better for them, and like Tom kind of brought up, it was a lot of them getting in their own way. Yeah, and it's
injury.
not even that they're regular talent that are having fights backstage, which there are, but it's VPs and EVPs or whatever they are having fights backstage with rickety doors and dogs. Did you see the underbite on that thing? That dog is vicious looking.
April, go and answer the door, please. Yes, I'm aware that it is a rickety old door. Just please see who is outside of it, please.
Surely,
no, man. I mean, I think you guys both talked about some absolutely, good things, bad things. I think that we had AEW in such high regard coming into the beginning of the year because, we talk about the Tony Khan ups and downs of booking all the time. And it's like, towards the end of the year there, he was really riding high. I think that was some of the best AEW television that we had seen since AEW television was a thing.
Well, that was what happened at the end. Was sort of a feud with between was that the end of 2021 Punk and MJF?
Yes.
Yeah, that was some of the best business AEW's ever done on TV. Period.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that once we hit the end of the first quarter, and some of that stuff concluded, and and then Punk was hurt and weren't really sure where to go.
Andy beat Hangman for the title too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a whole lot that happened in a negative light on their end of the spectrum that really, really hindered what they were trying to do moving forward. And then I think that in a lot of cases, we come in here, we talk about it all the time. Nobody's saying no. So they put themselves in a situation where things didn't make sense and dots weren't connecting, and we became very discombobulated as a viewer at home. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Right.
But all in all, I do think that they ended the year rather strong, despite Tom's opinion. For the last in quarter four, I thought that they had really started to right the ship early, end of October, early November. And it was
the jury's still out.
Starting to be really noticeable, at least in my eyes, that things were starting to turn around. So I'm really excited to see where things shake out. But I mean, clearly you guys have already alluded to it, though. I mean, there was some big time news that happened in 2022, and you guys kind of already touched on it. But I mean, I've got to say that the biggest thing that happened in 2022 in pro wrestling was the fact that Vince McMahon retired from the WWE, something that nobody ever anywhere thought would ever happen.
No, I didn't have that on the tip board.
We thought that truthfully, do you think they wouldn't have propped his corpse up for at least a little bit, even after he died? He would have posthumously continued to work.
Yeah, they could have done the Vinnie Mac walk with him, like a marionette puppet down the
at least
aisle.
For a couple of weeks. I feel like that would have been.
They absolutely would have. It would have depended on what part of the year it was. If we're coming up on the end of the year, we're not going to say anything.
No,
we got to go ahead and get them.
We're going to put that corpse in that office. Sit it next to that T-Rex on the wall.
Gotta make sure the stockholders are good, you know.
Yep.
But
Hell,
I
he
mean,
could still run the meeting.
what do you think about that? Vince and Triple H be sitting to the left of him, and be like, "It's good shit, pal. Thanks, boss. Appreciate you." You know, like, I mean, that for sure is definitely the most surprising, shocking thing that I think could have happened to the pro wrestling world. But it was also, and I know we talked about it when it happened, but like it was also the excitement that came with that, right? And the ability to see what Triple H was going to do and how Triple H was going to run the creative side of the company. And I think that we're all in agreement that like it's gotten better. You know, and Tom, you kind of talked about it too, where it was like, well, you know, even before Vince left, you know, we were starting to get some much better stuff, and I mean, absolutely, bro, like absolutely, and Triple H has picked up the ball and run with it.
Can't argue any of that. That's for sure. He has. He's picked up better than I imagined it would have happened. You know.
I feel like from SummerSlam on, it just like it was like the brakes were off. And they were he was just gonna go, all right, all you people that just got fired, get back in here.
You know, and we talked about that, what, 2 weeks ago? Like, you know, is he bringing too many people back too soon, too much? Like what, you know,
we're there yet.
I don't know.
See. It gets getting there though. Like, I don't know if we're there yet with like too many, but we're rapidly approaching. Maybe there's too many.
Well, we will see. Obviously, more blockbuster news coming out of 2022. You know, Sasha Banks and Naomi walk off the job. You know, and
you have yet to walk back.
And have yet to walk back in the door. I mean, it appears that Sasha's going to perform in Japan and, you know, fulfill a lifetime goal of hers to have a match or perform in Japan in some way, shape, or form. You know, I mean, good on her. You know, I was listening to some of the other marks in the world the other day talking about how, she should never done that. It's going to just totally kill her own stock. Who cares if that's what she wants to do with her life? It's just, what about this? You know what, man? Great for the human being, right? Mercedes Renato, like, good for her that she's going to get to check off a bucket list item. And, you know, we can sit here and we can debate and we can feel any way we want to feel, Derek, about Sasha Banks as a performer or Sasha Banks as a human being. But like, you know yourself that there's people out there that don't like your fucking ass either. But if you got to go and do something that was a lifelong dream of yours, somebody would probably be like, hey man, that's really cool. I'm glad you got to do that. Now go fuck yourself. You know, so like,
yeah, I mean, good for her. I'm happy.
All the bullshit and drama aside, I'm excited for her as a human to be able to explore other avenues, and you know, and I already know what Tom's gonna say, so let's just roll with it.
I mean, I think that it was maybe ill-advised to leave, but the fact that they don't, I mean, neither of them need it, and I think that's a good sign. And as far as Sasha Banks going to Japan, I think that's cool. I mean, if that's the thing, if that's the thing that Mercedes Venato wants to do, or Venato wants to do, and go to Japan, good. She's got the opportunity to do it. She's not gonna want for opportunity. This is not like, oh, she walked out, and that's just not the case. You know, if she wants a wrestling opportunity, I think she certainly can have a wrestling opportunity. And obviously she's doing that. She's going to wrestle in Japan, which is the thing she wanted to do, and good for her. As far as whether or not I'm the biggest fan of Sasha Banks, or that I think that she's this like needle mover or this like next big thing or something like that. I mean, I don't know that she's on that level particularly. You know, if she were to join like AEW, would it be big for them? Yes. If she came back to WWE, would it move the needle? No, probably not. You know,
the only person that's moving the needle with is Michael Cole.
Yeah, Michael Cole. Yeah, it's boss time. I am sad that I'm not going to hear that anytime soon.
Yeah.
Y'all two motherfuckers are some serious haters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm not hating that hard. I said Sasha Banks would be a big deal in AEW.
Oh, absolutely. She would absolutely be
like,
a big deal.
Truthfully, I mean, I would say that it is, as much as I've disliked how they've booked the women's division as a whole, I thought Tony Storm did really well as far as the women's division was concerned in AEW, and I think that Sasha Banks would do markedly better than that. I depending on if they gave her the CM Punk treatment or not, just put her to the top, let her have top feuds with the top stars, and then put her over and put the belt on her real fast like they did with Punk. I think if they did something like that, I think that would move the needle in AEW more than whatever WWE would do or would do. No. So, if it is the matter of like, well, yeah, they walked out, does WWE want her back either? I think that's the other thing is like, cause she walks out pretty regularly. So, to me, I think maybe it was just the time.
I mean, I know they talked about bringing her back at one point. That was like the whole thing. And like, you know what? Maybe you're right, man. I said this today. Man, sometimes you just outgrow your situation, and it's okay to like try something different, right? Like,
well, I mean, and especially in the case of pro wrestling, I feel like that's really that's sort of been the story of pro wrestling for most people. I can think of people who it didn't work out great for, people like Bret Hart or the Macho Man. Never really,
no.
Well, they never found the grass to be greener on the other side after they left.
Well, you're gonna seriously think that sit here and try to say that the Macho Man didn't go and find
the Macho Man was pretty happy.
I mean, he got to get back in the ring. He was a 2-time world champion at WCW. He was put into the NWO angle, which was at the top of the card every single week.
Yeah.
But he never really hit the same heights. But you're right, from where he was in WWE to
Absolutely. Made him happy.
Yeah. But I guess
Bret Hart, on the other hand, got fucking Goldberged.
He's just a miserable fuck to begin with.
He's still
There's
mad.
Not a more bitter human being in the world than Bret Hart.
Yeah. Bret Hart's feelings for Bill Goldberg, like even Satan is like, dude, chill. It was a long time ago now.
Hey, you know what else happened in 2022? We didn't get a Bill Goldberg world title run, which was just fucking awesome.
It's great. Let's put that because we had one of those in 2021, right? For a minute.
Yeah, we did.
Let's go ahead and put. He didn't even have it. Did he even have a title shot this year?
Yes.
Yeah. Did he wrestle this year?
I think he did.
I don't know. I think he didn't.
Remember.
I think he only
not in the Triple H era.
Was Bobby Lashley the champ, or was Bobby Lashley still the WWE champ when they fought?
I don't remember.
That's the one. That's you might be right. That may have been for the WWE title.
I don't remember.
But
regardless, man, like we didn't
right.
get that run, and that's all that fucking mattered, man. That's all that matters.
We're not certain he didn't have that title shot off the top of our heads. And now that I think about it, I think Bobby Lashley was the champ, and I think that that was for the title. He just didn't win.
Other big things that happened in 2022 also, man. Derek, AEW opened up the forbidden door, something that had never been done before with New Japan Pro Wrestling, even though WWE did it back in the 80s.
All the time. And WCW.
Yeah, it was cool, but you know what sucked is that they fucked up all the advertising for it. The entire build was terrible.
Yeah, because half of the American audience didn't know who any of those New Japan guys were.
Even some of them, and like would know more than your casual every other Monday nighter. I didn't know everybody that was going on. No,
I didn't
either. They didn't even make an attempt to.
I didn't know half of them. Half of them I knew. Yeah, half of them I knew.
An attempt to tell a story. So while it's great in theory, and I was, hey, this could be potential fantastic. Again, another swing and a miss by Tony Khan.
Yeah, they're talking about doing a forbidden door too.
I don't know why their viewership dropped like a stone while they built to it.
Well, you know why? Because WWE's doing it right now. I mean, you don't forget Shinsuke just wrestled the Great Muta on the Great Muta's retirement tour on the 1st of January at Pro Wrestling Noah, and actually got the W too. Gave old Great Muta a kiss, took his mist.
Took the poison mist, yeah. I saw that. That was
It's pretty gangster.
That's pretty gangster. That's pretty Japan. That wouldn't be an angle in anybody would use in America per se. But that's a pretty Japan angle right there, because the mist in of itself in America, I feel like is one thing, but like swapping the mist, I feel like would just be a step too Japan for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just too much.
It's even if we get past step one.
Yeah, just getting to the mist. Well, Japanese wrestlers use the mist all the time still.
Oh, right. I just mean the mouth.
Like Asuka still uses it.
I don't think that's going to be part of her new package when she comes back.
Probably.
No, I think she's going to just be a straight up fucking killer.
I hope so.
Other big things, 2022, man. Mandy Rose gets released at the end of the year. For obviously some.
We'll call it explicit content.
Yes. For some explicit photos and such. I still don't necessarily know that was the right move. I mean, Mandy Rose absolutely 100% goes against her contract. I get that. I understand that. But at the same point in time, she's being portrayed as such on television under WWE's banner. I just don't see what the problem is. However, Mandy Rose made $1 million in December.
She did.
So I think she got released like December 10th or 11th, something like that.
She was
and by the end of December, she had made $1 million. So that I guess today she posted a picture on Instagram or Twitter of her and her boyfriend or husband or whatever the fuck in a brand new Rolls Royce.
She did make $1 million.
If that's not the ultimate FU,
you buy $100,000 car or $200,000 car. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's a great investment per se, but you can always make another $1 million, I suppose.
Well, I'm sure
probably tomorrow.
Sting on everything, considering that a bunch of asshole idiots spending $5 a month to you or whatever it is. So you bought that for you. You had to invest nothing. Well, you invested in some
cash for it. But... I mean, they probably paid cash though for it. Hell, that might have been that week's. That may have been last week's winnings. Between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So I mean, good on her, man. I'll be interested to see how her pro wrestling career future shakes out. A lot of people in the circle seem to think that she's just done with pro wrestling. I mean, and if that's the case, good for her. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like she just got good at it. It's hard to be at something for 10 years, actually get good at it, and then be like, all right, I'm done. That seems to me like that just doesn't seem like a human thing to do, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she is done.
So it is what it is, man. Tony Khan, AEW purchases Ring of Honor and tries to revive the brand. That happened in 2022. And, moving forward, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be
I think he stumbled by not it's been a long time in 2022 because he bought that early. He bought that like in January. Like the anniversary of Tony owning it is coming up real soon. So I think he had hoped he would have a TV deal for it, but doesn't, and now it's going on an app. And so I think it'll be interesting to see where it shakes out. But I think at this point it's kind of a failure. I don't know what he paid for it, but he paid for it without any semblance of a TV deal, so must not have been that much.
Yeah. I mean, stupid to just blindly go into this and not have any sort of plan. It was obviously the case there. And really,
that backlog is valuable, but I think you need to it's only valuable if you have the TV time or access cable, own an cable channel or something.
And to be honest, maybe not even TV. I mean, you can for much, much cheaper get on some sort of streaming platform and just sell the rights to that,
Well, and that's what it's doing, and that's what it is now. But I think at this point, he needs to almost write his own stream, like the WWE Network was, kind of do that, And
I mean, if you get
initially
enough
when he
content.
bought it, I feel like that's what I thought he was going to do with it. Like he was looking to like up his backlog, because the Ring of Honor backlog is fantastic. At this point, it's, I mean, every bit as good as the WCW backlog was when Vince bought it.
Yeah,
Like,
I really feel like him buying Ring of Honor was simply just to keep their tape library out of WWE's possession.
Oh yeah, because if WWE had, I mean, they would have loved to put that on Peacock, and they probably could have maybe even upped the hey, we're adding Ring of Honor to the to this, but price goes up $2 next year, like something like that. But
Yeah.
Now Tony's got it. He's got this this backlog. He's got all these belts, and no home for any of it. I mean, people have to
he
get
doesn't. We don't have to worry about seeing AAA belts on AEW television anymore, because AAA is just done with AEW talent holding their championships.
I mean, I can't imagine all the shenanigans that's gone on in AAA in the last year and a half or so, because think about how every single AEW personality has held a AAA title.
I mean, and they came to this conclusion because Ty Mello, did her thing. Just like double booked herself and then no-showed AAA, and they're like, okay, so Sammy's down in Mexico waiting for Tay, and she's in fucking Orlando getting ready to do a show for AEW.
Yeah,
and then they get stripped of the belts.
Goober. I mean, that happened in 2022 too. The most fucking mouth vomit thing that could have happened. Them two on television is just too fucking much, bro.
It's too much. Yeah, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be friends on TV. They shouldn't be in the same segment. Like,
Did Sammy get married and divorced in the same year?
Well, he didn't marry that other girl.
No.
Yeah.
No, they just got engaged on live television, and then like 4 months later, he's starting to post all these pictures with Ty Mello, and they're doing vlogs and stuff backstage, and it's like, oh, we're just friends. We're just really, really good friends. Yeah, that's what Edge and Lita said too.
Sure you are.
We know how that worked out.
So, I mean, could you imagine if AEW signed Pam? she feuds with
Pam is all elite. Pam is all elite. Glad you thought of her name.
I can see the graphic now with her standing in the ring like this when Sammy proposed.
Pam is all elite.
Oh shit.
Oh, Pam. Poor Pam.
Poor Pam. Pam lost out in this.
Yeah, Pam had a rough 2022.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. And then my last bit of news that I felt is worth discussing also happened at the tail end of the year, and then this will roll us into some of our thoughts about the upcoming year. Nick Aldis and NWA have, split ways, and I don't think a lot of folks really ever saw that being a thing, because all through COVID, Nick was the standard bearer for the NWA. Nick made you wanna watch. Actually, I lied. This isn't the only thing that I have. I have one more thing.
And he was sort of spearheaded their NWA Power program.
Yep.
Being and that did gangbusters on YouTube when it first started, and he was a big reason behind that.
Yeah, he was absolutely the face that ran the place. So, officially as of yesterday on January 1st, he's a free agent. So he'll be interested to see where that shakes out. And I have an idea, but we'll talk about that in 1 second. But I think the biggest news outside of Vince McMahon retiring that happened in 2022, Derek, was Cody Rhodes jumping ship from AEW to WWE.
It's very true.
That was a big deal.
That was a huge deal.
When it happened, I couldn't believe it happened, and I still kind of don't believe that it happened because he got hurt right away. But even that was like a huge deal because he competed with his torn. It was insane. It was insanity. I've never seen anything like that. I hope not to see anything like that again anytime soon. It wasn't quite like watching Mick Foley take that fall off the top of the cage, but it was a little bit like that.
Were you at that show?
No, we had been.
I was at that show.
You were there. I was not at that show. I was watching
at
it
that
live on pay-per-view in my living room at my father's house. He and I were actually talking about it the other day. I went over there he did a thing after Christmas. He and I were talking about, do you remember him taking a fall? We were talking about wrestling, and he brought that up, and I was like, oh my God. To this day, it's still one of those things where, like, I couldn't believe what I was watching, and then continued to watch.
Yeah, because what was that, 99? So, like, I mean, we would have been freshmen in high school.
Yeah.
So, like, but yeah, we were there. We're sitting at the top of the old Civic Arena, Wild, bro.
That I can't imagine to see it in the play, just to see a man that big up, because you're probably up, and then he goes and probably falls out of your line of sight, and you're like, what just happened?
So when you're sitting at the top, right, and they're on the cage, like it's like you have floor seats.
Yeah, they're like right there.
And then, like, when he goes off, when you're sitting up high like that, knowing what that perspective is, where it's, looking like floor seats, and then he goes down, and then you look down, you're like, ooh.
He got real small. He went from being normal size to real small.
Like, so, that was definitely a wild moment. But I think that all of these last two things that we talked about, big news of 2022, really, really lends a lot of intrigue into what's going to happen in the coming year, right? I know that whenever I saw that Nick Aldis was officially a free agent, the first thing I sent in the group was, oh, interesting. Royal Rumble, ? Number 3, ? I would fucking pop like a 12-year-old little girl.
Right?
If
I mean,
that
happens. I think that would be really, really something to see. And then, like, just have him show up, or hell, maybe have him show up earlier. But, if he just showed up at the Rumble, I think that would be huge. I don't know how many returns they have planned for the Rumble. Maybe they'll have Nick Aldis on before that, if he's a free agent now. But man, yeah, that would really be something. And I think that, again, I don't know that it moves the needle for WWE. I just think it really gives them, like, so much dream match potential. And Nick Aldis is a professional. Like, I would see Nick Aldis in a, like, Triple H's WWE, and I would see Triple H pick him up because Triple H knows. I think I couldn't see Nick Aldis being anywhere else. Or being, unless for some reason WWE doesn't want him, which would be even more confusing.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that that's going to be the case, is that he's probably going to show up at the Rumble or sooner, depending.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome if that goes down and he shows up at the Rumble. Or before, that'd be phenomenal. I would enjoy that. Very, very much, because I'm a Nick Aldis guy. Also, man, like, I think that with Cody coming back, possibly at the Rumble, and the possibility of Nick Aldis being there, and plus just the overall roster of talent that WWE already has, the Royal Rumble is going to be a wild start to the road to WrestleMania, and I cannot wait. Tom, like you said earlier, it's going to be really interesting, because this is, I feel like, the first time in a long time that it's like, I have no idea.
No, yeah, I don't know how they use it. It doesn't seem to make a whole ton of sense one way or the other. I feel like maybe on the women's side, Ronda just lost the title on Friday, so I feel like that there may be some more shenanigans with, well, we got to give Ronda the title shot.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean,
and dude, so many people are pissed that happened that way. Because it's Charlotte, that's why.
Because it's Charlotte, and she did the exact Charlotte Flair thing that you expect Charlotte Flair to do.
Yeah, she Bill Goldberg, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, come back, win title immediately. Be champion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's exactly what happened. The other thing that is kind of like disappointing in that too is that Ronda and Raquel got the best match out of Ronda that Ronda's had since she got back. Like it was good. It made sense. And it worked on so many levels, and I was invested in that match. And then when Charlotte came back, everybody forgot because obviously it wasn't a big deal. And it was like, oh, now Charlotte's the champ. That's weird how that happens, isn't it? But it makes no sense. Why would I mean? I guess I can see why people are mad, but yeah, it's like thank God. Like why? Like her reign was not good, and Liv's reign before her wasn't great either. So,
I mean, and Charlotte looks like she's got a little bit of a repackage, huh? Some new music, some new fits. Maybe
she looked good. She looked good. She looked more like herself. I felt like towards the end of her run there, she was looking like thin, like really thin, but in a bad way. Like she was looking sinewy, like on her arms. Like if you looked at her arms, they looked like you could see all the tendons and stuff. And that was not. It was like, that looks. I don't want to touch that. But she looked very much more normal to what she's kind of always looked like. So I thought she looked good. I thought she came out, did good stuff. Ronda totally botched her promo, but Charlotte did a good job.
Shocking. So what about you there, Derek, man? Like, what are you looking forward to in 2023 with the professional wrestling landscape?
I don't know. We're seeing.
I don't know, man. I'd really like Nick Gage to show up at fucking WWE with a pizza cutter and just like put Triple H through a fucking flaming pane of glass on top of Stephanie McMahon with fucking Mick Foley jumping off the Jumbotron. That'd be fucking sweet with like a light tube.
Don't forget bazooka. The light tube bazooka.
Yes.
Gotta pull up the light tube bazooka
and flaming shit. You didn't set anything on fire that whole time.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I said a flaming pane of glass.
Yeah, the glass was on fire.
The glass was on fire. Got it. Okay. All right.
Flaming pane of glass.
Be like fucking Stone Cold.
I look forward to that.
That happened too. Stone Cold main evented fucking WrestleMania. Jesus
sure
Christ.
Did.
2022
2 nights
was wild, bro.
He came out twice.
It was wild. Wow.
That's why WrestleMania was crazy because.
All right, but seriously though, Derek, I'm sorry. What are you looking forward to 2023, pal?
That sounds great. No, we can just go with that. Yeah.
I fucking can't stand you.
Well, it was better than whatever he was gonna say. He wasn't gonna say anything.
Tom's right. He is.
He was gonna be like, I don't know.
A whole lot of nothing. Blah blah blah.
I can't. So, Derek, tell me what you're looking forward to.
Nothing, man. Nothing in particular. I don't know what. I don't know. Maybe.
April. Tell Derek that he knows he can't wait for me to make my return. No,
it will happen.
Scratch that. My triumphant, courageous return to be the savior of professional wrestling once more.
Does he hate Triple H though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you don't remember their shoot promo deal in the middle of the ring when Triple H said, "You come out here and you play the fucking martyr."
Yeah, that's true. I do remember that specifically. And I don't know. I do think he will come back at some point. I really do. Too. He's gonna make some money.
It's all the work, bro.
It might still. I don't know if it's all a work, but it could be a work because he got hurt again, and
you're still clinging to that, aren't you?
We talked about it, and we're still talking about it. If it's a work, it's a really good work.
Yeah,
and I will give them. I want it to be a work at this point. I want it to be a really good work.
Yeah, it'd be great if it was actually a work. It'd be the best work in all of pro wrestling. That's for sure.
But that's probably why it's not a work because it would be the best. I don't. At the same time, don't have the faith for them to book it that way.
No.
I thought it was interesting that Dax Harwood had tweeted out, something along the lines of, "Can't we just all shake hands, have a conversation, and move on with business?" And CM Punk reply, quote tweeted it and was like, "Duh."
Yeah.
Dude,
They got the
Dax
wrestling
Harwood
world
can't
going.
stop sucking him off enough. Like that's all he's been doing the past 3 weeks. He loves
He
him some
misses
CM
his
Punk.
buddy, pal.
He misses
I mean, that's
his-
great, but damn, you don't got to make out on Twitter. What?
I mean, isn't that what Twitter's for now?
I don't know.
Oh, here you go.
It's
No,
a whole
that's
new
it.
world now.
So, I'll save
Twitterscape.
the Twitter rants for another day.
Thank God we've only got 52 shows. We've got a whole 52 shows before Donald Trump runs for president, and then I got to listen to Tom every fucking week.
Why you gotta do that to me? You say that shit out loud.
He won't make it that far.
Oh, I hope not.
But for me, man, like I'm really looking forward to 2023 and like all of the seeds that have been sown, right? Like they're everywhere. There's the little storyline pieces and nibbles that are being thrown down, and on every night of the week. And I'm really interested to see how a lot of it plays out. I'm really interested to see.
I hope
where
a lot
Nick
of it does
Aldis
play out.
lands. What's that?
I said I hope a lot of it does play out. Like
I do too. Absolutely. It's going to make for some great television if it does. I'm really excited to see where Nick Aldis lands. Really excited to see what Cardona does. I mean, he's been talking an awful lot about coming back to the WWE, but he wants to do it on, his terms, his way, which obviously would never work for Vince. But I mean, who knows what Triple H is down to do? Triple H is definitely seems like he's what's best for business. Obviously I have to feel like Chelsea Green's coming back probably at the Rumble. She closed down her OnlyFans. She's gone on to the Indies with Cardona, and she's gained a ton of experience. She's gained a ton of heat. If she can come in and just continue to play that same character, just tone down maybe just a skosh, because like she's over the top in your face sexuality. Like,
well, yeah, they're gonna have to. They'll have to dial that back just
but if she can find that in that PG world, that same level, just in a more, relaxed and innuendo style, I think she's going to do really, really well. Her in-ring has gotten exponentially better. They were always high on her in-ring. She always got fucking hurt, man. And that makes things hard.
Kudos to her though that she managed to stay healthy for like however long now at this point. But I
think it's been 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a couple years of just healthy but consistent indie runs, which is even harder to do because you're not, indie stuff is you're not necessarily surrounded by top doctors and in near high end medical facilities and all that jazz. So that's certainly something. Yeah, I think Chelsea Green's coming back too for sure in 2023, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her before the Rumble.
And then obviously the biggest thing on the horizon that everybody can't wait to talk about is The Rock coming back at WrestleMania. Are we gonna get the head of the table feud? Is it gonna happen? We're a couple short weeks away from finding out some of those answers, fellas. I really think that, especially on the WWE side of things, like, what 2023 is going to look like is going to start to take shape, at least for the first half of the year. I'll tell you what, I'm excited, and I'm excited for the prospects of what AEW has been trying to accomplish. And, it seems like they've worked out some kinks and they're finally finding their identity a little bit. They've toned down a lot of their spot monkey type matches. There seems to be a little bit more psychology in some of the things that they're doing, and I'm sure that's come with talent change and folks that have come into the company from other places that they may have worked with in other independents that they have a lot of respect for, that wrestle a more psychological style. Overall, that product's becoming a bit more polished, and I'm really enjoying where that's headed. So I'm keen on that. I really like to see what happens with Ring of Honor here coming up. I think they've done a fantastic job of showcasing that brand on AEW television. And quite frankly, I'm good. Like, don't waste your time, our time, and everybody else's time with a with a Forbidden Door event. And it's like, if you want to do Forbidden Door stuff, you let Kenny Omega go over and work in Japan, because that's going to be what draws the eyeballs. It's not going to be something where, unless you want to bring Will Ospreay to compete against Kenny Omega at Revolution or Full Gear or one of those shows, that's different. But I think there's a lot of intriguing matchups in both companies, on all the shows. I think that if we can get some of this payoff moving forward with some of this shit, especially on the AEW side of the coin, it's going to be a really, really productive year in pro wrestling from a fan perspective. And quite frankly, I am excited for what is coming down the pipes. And I might be completely off base and completely wrong, but I've got to feel like there's just too many positives happen on both sides of this ball that we can't be excited about what's going to happen.
Oh, for sure. Like it's becoming, it's not that it's becoming, but it's fun to watch again in the sense where it's just like, it's not a like, oh, I'll just catch it if it's on. It's like, it's something I want to see. I make time to like this last Friday was like, I'm make time. I'm going to watch that. Like that's a big deal.
And 10 short weeks ago, you had banished AEW to the dumpster.
I'm there still only if I'm not doing something else, but they're coming. I'm coming around.
It's good. It's good.
Coming around.
Got to keep an open mind in 2020.
Well, but they got to come around. That was the point. It wasn't me. They had to draw my eyeballs back.
So lots of fun stuff coming up here. I've got to believe, and really, really, really looking forward to it. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's come to that time. For the first time in 2023, we bring to you Tom. What is your first match of the week in 2023?
So my first match of the week for 2023 is actually the last live match of 2022. And that would be Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and John Cena. And there's two reasons why. One, most of this match, and it was about a 10, 12-minute match, was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, while John Cena screamed spots from holding the tag rope. He screamed spots, and it was about as John Cena as it gets. But what was even better was that John Cena worked only the last minute of the match. So there was 10 minutes of build up to the John Cena hot tag that ended up and Roman Reigns took his first legitimate loss in
But did he though? Did he though?
That was his only legitimate loss.
But did he
the rest
though?
of them are tomfoolery.
Did he
this
though?
was not really. Sami Zayn took it, but nobody's pinned him in 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a wild amount of time since he won the title. He's not been pinned.
Yeah, it was like Baron Corbin in
yeah, that's right. It was like a SmackDown.
Yeah, it was 2018 or something. It's been forever. Maybe it was 2019. Yeah, had to be 2019. But yeah, it's 3 years.
I did enjoy that match though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I haven't seen enough Baron Corbin matches lately. Although he'll probably be on tonight.
He's changed gimmicks 2 times in between Roman getting pinned for the last time.
He really has. He's changed he was Happy
It's
Corbin
been that long,
and now he's back to Baron Corbin. Yeah, but the John Cena hot tag I thought was great. They did the stereo 5-knuckle shuffle, which I thought which
Kevin Owens, I was fucking jacked. Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, it was.
That thing was rough.
Yeah, but it was what it was. But I don't know. That was to me that was the match of the week only because of how long it took John Cena to get in there, and he just screamed the spots from this. And I'm like, this couldn't be more perfect, John Cena. So let's enjoy it and be happy. It made me legitimately happy.
Cena's bald spot.
Yeah, he's got that.
Well, that was the
I don't
star
think
of
he
the
cares.
show, though.
I think his current haircut kind of accentuates it too. So I don't think he cares. That he's got
Well,
a bald.
because I mean, he looks great from the front with the hair. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
he
saying? And
does.
like in Hollywood, that's what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need this. They're not necessarily looking at this. And if it ever does show, they're just like, oh, I'll take my mouse and just click, click, done.
Uh-huh. All done.
All done.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Derek, what was your match of the week, bub?
All right, so first one of the year is going to go to match number 6 of 7. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, the Elite versus Death Triangle. This was I don't really think I've given them too many of my matches of the week during this whole series.
No, every one of those has been my match of the week.
Yeah, you've really been giving them a lot of love, but this one in particular was super over the top and just I don't know what you're going to do for number 7. Like,
Well, this was the one where they got the Christmas trees involved. This was ridiculous. But then WWE literally had the same match.
Well,
It was just they did.
we did it on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm just saying it was WWE literally had the same match on Friday, and it was like a Miracle on 31st street fight. It was,
yeah.
It was the same. It was so shocking how similar the matches were that I was just like there were fake trees involved and everything. I think WWE had more props, but
Can't help himself.
the fact
It's
that there
gotta-
were two,
gotta happen.
just it was stunning.
Can't help himself. But I agree, Derek. What I like about the 7-match series. Now, if you remember, we came in here and we talked big shit about this.
I
was pretty pissed about it, yeah.
Actually,
They've done a really good job giving us 6 entirely different matches to
Mhm.
enjoy. It's been an awesome series to watch, and I'm okay with it, man. It's a great match. I'm actually happy that you picked it because it allows me to go with the one true match of the week that I wanted to select. Because just to keep it kayfabe, I was going to pick the Young Bucks versus Death Triangle or the Elite versus Death Triangle. You know, because I had to just get that in. But thank you for selecting that, so I can say my one true match.
Of course.
My one true match of the week is none other than The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. I found myself randomly watching old things on Peacock, and I stumbled into WrestleMania 25, and man, I forgot how good this fucking match was, bro. These two guys tore that shit down. Undertaker caught Shawn Michaels from a moonsault into a pile drive, into a tombstone pile driver to go 17-0. Like, what? Come on, man.
it's pretty shocking. 'Cause, yeah, I remember that match. It's weird because I don't ever like you think of the Undertaker as like a guy who has two kinds of matches, right? Where it's like he can have a banger of a match, but like I've seen just as many Undertaker matches that I'm like that was pretty mediocre. But yeah, that one particularly just stands out as like what a cool. They had to have put that together, and because it ended up so cool. Some of the spots, like that spot, those are spots that like they did it, and they were like nobody else has been like, yeah, we're gonna try that. They're like, nope, no, we're not trying that.
And you know what's like,
Shawn didn't break his neck still,
and like that's one of those matches that just stands up against the test of time, right? And I would challenge you guys, if you've not actually sat through that match, it's like 26 minutes. If you've not sat through that match for quite a while, you know, find yourself 30 minutes, man. Just dial it up on the old Peacock, man. Just enjoy it. An absolute classic. Probably literally one of the best matches that I've seen in fucking ever. So, hey man, you know, not necessarily our normal format, our normal thing here, but you know, we were kind of in a weird situation this week. Overall, I thought everything came together really well. I'm really excited what's gonna what's gonna come over the next several months, weeks, days. Give us all kinds of ammunition to kind of talk about, you know. So, Hey, if you guys aren't subscribed, please do so. We really appreciate the uptick in viewership recently. It's been fantastic. We're getting a lot of positive comments on the shows, and you guys keep that coming. I know that I check it at least once a day, and I try to get in and interact as best I can. So if you guys want to see us talk about anything, or you got any gimmicks you want to pitch, hey, we'll listen, because at the end of the day, you guys are the one that's consuming the content. We appreciate the positive feedback that's been coming. That's been fantastic as well. But like I said, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. That'd be awesome. It'd really give us a shot in the arm. Make sure that you like the videos when you watch them. That's awesome too. Really, really, really cool. We're just a couple of dudes that are just kind of coming together and just shooting the shit, man. And I think that overall, we've got a pretty good little product here. We're in such a world that is just so oversaturated with former talent, current talent, actually in the business. It's kind of hard to find a footprint here, right? But we're just out here. We're living our best lives. We're doing our best to be with you every Monday, and as things change, if you don't see us on Monday, there's almost a 97% chance you're going to see us on Wednesday. It's just kind of how it always works out. So we're always here. We try to keep it consistent for you. Sometimes life happens, man. But most importantly, man, just go over, check us out on social media, both Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That is ONE. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time on this lovely, lovely New Year's Day observed.
It's been observed.
It has been observed. And it's been served.
Yes.
And it's been real. I'm going to let you guys get off here. Go hang out with your wives before you return back to your normally scheduled programs tomorrow. So thanks for throwing this together on my bad timing this week. But I will be back to normal next week. So that will be very nice. So with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week with One Fall WrestleCast. Tom, I was genuinely concerned for your safety at one point.
I was just downstairs watching wrestling.
I'm not saying